Maybe one day those murder hornets will actually attack. Anyway, how are you all doing today? Uh, so welcome to our dysfunctional weekly update. We are, I thought that just said Gary Keller had joined. That would be entertaining because it's happy birthday. So Gary, yesterday was Gary Keller's birthday, which is awesome. Yay, Gary, who leads our show. And yes, of course, there's a happy birthday present with a mask GIF available on the internet. Of course, there is. More importantly, yesterday, Gary's birthday was important. My wife also celebrated her birthday, and she would be very, very happy that I am sharing this picture with her. Do you remember when you could fall asleep on planes beside random strangers who could roll on your shoulder and stuff like that? Do you remember those? The good happy days? So anyway, where this ties in, other than any opportunity to suck up and partially embarrass my wife when she's never going to see it, what the heck? We went for dinner. We went to dinner last, and we get that in a sec. We went to dinner at Washington Avenue Grill, and I've got to say that the food is fantastic. We've been there a couple of times. Southern White Rock, go support your local restaurants or any local restaurant. Uh, the first time we went, the servers were not wearing masks, but they're very friendly. Second time we went, servers are not wearing masks, very friendly, and they're very friendly again last night. Everybody's wearing masks and gloves. The big difference is because guess what happened, and guess when they started wearing masks officially as mandated by their management team. Because yesterday, uh, it was announced that the Earls in Port Coquitlam had 3 cases of COVID from serving staff, and the Browns in Port Moody had 1 case. So the whole COVID. My favorite quote is Mark Wahlberg. He's an actor apparently. He's got a body like mine, kind of buff. Like, are we still doing this COVID thing, or is it done? What's going on? Yeah, we're still doing the COVID thing, and so um, we've got a few things we need to pay attention to today. And like we went to WAG. The interesting thing with the servers and the restaurant, we learned 2 things. Number one, that they're starting to freak out. Our server said, yeah, we're actually hearing rumblings that we're going to be shut down again. So if you want to keep going out for lunch, keep going to your local restaurants and not go back to the space where we had to fight for drive-through and curbside pickup and turn our houses into restaurants, we need to start paying attention. Obviously, and we'll get to this in a sec. But the other thing I learned, so number one, people are freaking out. Number two, what the heck happened to hand sanitizer? Because we walk into WEG, we do the hand sanitizer thing, fantastic, and then you make the mistake of smelling your hand. Hashtag smell my COVID finger. Like, wow, what are they putting in that stuff? Because it's distilled. It's made, like, most of the stuff's made at distilleries now. So it should actually the one at the BC liquor store smelled like tequila, which, okay, unless you get pulled over, you're all right. But I'm thinking, if they need a scent that everybody loves, that everybody's going to enjoy, why don't they make it scented with bourbon? It's coming out of its distillery anyway. Vanilla, cinnamon, joy. It's fantastic. All found in a brown bottle of happiness. Just joking. I don't have a problem. It's okay. All right. So here we are, somebody giggled, the 4 seasons of summer 2020. We got the COVID, we got the corona, we got the complacency, and we got the command. So let's talk about the COVID first. This thing isn't going away anytime soon. 16 million cases globally. I'm not going to quote any other stats. BC, we saw a ramp up over the weekend, 102 cases, and everybody freaked out. You watched we watched the freak outedness meter go ka-tunk, 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 just like people's bank account was going ta-tunk, 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 right, in reverse. So yeah, we need to adjust so that we don't dive back into wave 2 or wave 10 or whatever the heck we're on right now. I was chatting with one of our agents in Surrey right now, where I'm coming to you live from the bland sound sucking hole that is my office in Surrey. It's nice. We need some paint, or it's perfect for a Zoom call. So we're talking about clients already going, well, we want to wait and see what's happening for the October wave 2 of Corona. So changing the conversation you're having with your clients and having intelligent conversations with your clients to alleviate that fear and that understanding of where they are, is going to be a big thing. Corona, it's just here because God knows we could all use a drink, and it's 5 o'clock somewhere, 24 hours a day. Uh, Complacency is the big one, right? So if people go back to burying their head in the sand and not paying attention, our 20 something son was out for dinner with us last night, and he's got a pretty good head on his shoulder, and he's like, you know what, my generation are just freaking brain dead. So yeah, if you know a 20 something who's like packing it up and going home and making grandma sick, yeah, maybe have a conversation. So same thing. Complacency is dangerous from not only from a pandemic standpoint, also from a business standpoint. So if you're complacent in your business, then yeah, you need to pay attention to that. You need to pay attention to the details, right? Cases have ramped up. If we pay attention, the cases ramp back down, and we get to do things like go outside and eat at restaurants and continue to transact in real estate. The luxuries, right? We're not going to Disneyland anytime soon. So we might as well enjoy our backyard, hopefully, because I don't want to spend 32-degree weather locked away in my two-bedroom condo with my family, who I love dearly. And it was my wife's birthday. All right. But we do need to pay attention. We do need to be somewhere between licking poles on a subway and drinking bleach. Being aware, paying attention to the rules so that because the real fear isn't for people catching corona, honestly, when I'm chatting to most of our agents and outside people. It's the economic impact of the pandemic. It's being told that you're not allowed to continue doing business. And that's what I found last night when we were talking to this nice lady. Actually, not this nice lady. It would be weird if I took a picture of her actual server, right? That'd be strange. So this is a nice shot off the internet. Full disclosure. But your nice server in the restaurant is actually really, really, really concerned that she's not going to be employed when the government comes down and says, nope, sorry, we're going back to lockdown, because they're going to be the first ones to get hit. So pay attention. If you're talking to somebody who's acting, I got to say, was it Save on Foods a couple of nights ago? Not wearing a mask. I'm not a mask fan. And 2 weeks ago, it was probably, maybe 3 people, 4 people that you'd see at a time wearing a mask. 2 nights ago, I was the anomaly. 90% of the people in there were wearing a mask and looking at me strange, by the way. Just saying. So mask shaming works both ways. Cool. All right. So keep calm and sell real estate. You have the opportunity. You are an essential service. You have the means to control. Last week there was a buzz that they were going to change the regulations or ease the regulations on open houses because we're moving into phase 3 of reopening. That didn't happen. There was a big silence on that. So the stats over the weekend kind of tell you why, right? What we talked about last week is our numbers year over year for comparison were stellar, right? So closed units are up 40%, closed volume up 23.5, listings taken up 38, listings taken volume up 30.5, listings sold up 113 freaking percent. That's huge, right? Listings sold up 45%, contracts written 56%, contracts written volume 45%, and gross commission income up 54.5%. So that's awesome, right? If your business doesn't mimic this slide, then we have an opportunity for you. If you've gone through the first half of the year, and hopefully you all set goals. Everybody, I can't see you, but put up your hand if you set goals. I'm going to pretend that everybody's hand's up and that you wrote them down and that you did your GPS or your 135. Everybody's hands up. I feel like a Boy Scout, a bad Boy Scout. Anyway, dib dog. So a little bit of math for you to tap the gap. So if you set your goal, because you set your goal at the beginning of the year, and you got to the end of June and you're not quite where you wanted to be, and if you are, then your goal was either way too low, or you just totally ignored the fact that there was a pandemic and continued doing business. Good job. Or your business was immune to a pandemic. Also good job. But for most people, they got to end of June, and we did this for their ALC last week, and there's a gap. The amount of money in the bank is not equal to where they wanted to be for the end of the year. So here's the math on how to figure out what you need to do between now and the end of the year and how to break it into bite-sized chunks. So your focus, of course, is going to be on appointments. My favorite battle cry, tap that gap. Insert Raucous giggle here. So you've got your monthly gross commission income goal divided by your average commission equals your units that you need. Complicated, right? So if your monthly commission goal is $24,000, 24,000 deals, that'd be good. And your average commission is 12,000, you need 2 deals. Yay. See, complicated math. So you need to sell 2 deals per month to hit your goal, right? Close 2 deals per month. Now, units needed times the closing rate of deals. How confident are you that your deals are going to close? What do those deals look like? Are they priced right? All other good stuff. And look at your historic. So your historical numbers. If you've got, and I'm going to use 80% here, but our industry average is around 75. If you're talking to somebody like, Josh, everything closes 24/7. I don't even know if you're on yet. So say you've got your 2 deals, you've got an 80% closing ratio, which means that 20% of those are going to collapse. So you need 120%. So you need 2.4 deals. So 2.5. So I'd round up to 3. So your closing rate of appointments. So how good are you at the dining room table or the Zoom table, wherever you're doing your listing appointments and your buyer consults? We're going to give you 80%. We're going to say you're a semi rock star. You're a solid D plus. So when you sit down to get a listing appointment, 80% of the time you get the deal, right? So that means you need 2.88 transactions per month to close 2 per month. So you have to have your pipeline going. So round that up to 3. You guys can do a 2.88 deal on a percentage-wise of deal, but round it up to 3. I'd even bump it up to 4, just to give you some buffer. The one variable that's not here is, what does your pipeline look like right now today? So how many deals do you have in the pipeline today that are going to close between now and the end of the year? And then do a risk analysis on what are the chances if the world goes for a big sideways crap tomorrow, how many of those are still going to close? Because the variable, I've talked to many of you about the SWOT analysis plan. So you analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, your threats, and your opportunities. There's a part 2 on the threat thing. Threats are divided into 2 categories: ones you can control and ones you can't. So you can control the fact if you don't want to get out of bed and just are addicted to Netflix, you can change that. That's a threat to your business, but you can change it. You can't control what the government's going to do. You can't control what a pandemic's going to do. That is what the virus is, and it's going to impact your business one way or the other, right? So, I mean, if you own a mask or a stinky hand sanitizer company, you're golden, and you probably didn't know that 6 months ago. So, yeah, most of us don't. Hopefully that makes sense to you. This also follows the career growth initiative model that we walked everybody through a couple years ago. It's kind of faded off of popularity with KW. And I love this model still because it breaks it into bite-sized chunks. The only thing you need to focus on is the number of appointments you book per month and the number of listings you have. By the way, if you want to make $1 million, the magic number in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book is 7. You want to make $1 million in real estate? Go on 7 listing appointments a week. And even if you kind of suck at it and you only close 75% of it, you'll make $1 million. You should do that. It's a good idea. All right. The other opportunity is command. We keep talking about it. We're going to keep talking about it. As a matter of fact, in the month of August, we are going to talk about it every day of the week. We're going to take weekends off. But Monday through Friday, we are going to do quick lunch and learns, maximum of an hour. Log in, get your questions. There's a few things that you should have done before you come onto the call. Number 1, you know how to turn on your computer. Number 2, you know how to log into command. And number 3, you've already connected a few things in the back end. I'm going to do this again. You're going to see some repetition through this. August 1 is the day we want you to start playing with command. It's not the day that you have to do your deals in command. Start playing with command. Get your contacts in there. I'm going to say, the more you play with it, and I was a hard stop on I actually heard myself going, I might want to wait until the thing is actually final and complete and ready to go. And I'm the one who's supposed to, sell you on it. So probably wrong thing to say. Hope Gary Keller didn't dial in. But the reality is we want things to be perfect. And the other reality is there is no such thing as technology that is perfect. Apple isn't perfect. Google isn't perfect. Sometimes stuff breaks down and gets glitchy. Command, holy crap, man. You start playing with smart plans, you start playing with designs, you start playing with your contacts, doing your database, neighborhoods. I showed neighborhoods to an outside agent yesterday, and mind blown. Like, holy cow, what's going on? So, and how do I get access to that? The answer is join KW. So, on Command, the opportunities. Opportunities. See, not just within Command, you've got opportunities to grow your business, grow your mind, and get your. I was going to swear and to tap that gap. So, Bold Pivot returns August 4th. The course is $99. Bold is usually $1,000 US. So that's like $1.2 billion Canadian right now. So for $99, you get to log in. And I actually heard mixed feedback on the last one saying, well, some of it wasn't that great. You get one nugget for $99. That's brilliant. You get one more deal for paying $99, even if you log in and listen to the recordings later. The information, the scripts that came out on day one were worth the price of admission. So if you're at all hesitant on your ability to run your own business and drive your motivation forward through all the happy crap that exists in our world right now, yeah, go to Bold for $99. Rock stars. And they're adjusting. So the correct and continue, right? It's the way we do things. The other thing that's coming up, Mega Camp. Most of our agents have never been to Mega Camp. And Mega Camp is the ultimate networking experience within KW. Usually we all fly down to Austin, Texas. We eat a lot of barbecue, haul back a lot of Salt Lick barbecue sauce and rub. We can't do that anymore. So Mega Camp has gone digital. It is September 15th to 17th. It's usually $1,000 just to go to the camp, plus your expenses for staying. There's an early bird special on right now for $109. Smoking deal. So I have no idea what it's going to look like. But again, it's $109. That's probably worth a good investment. And I'm pretty sure your accountant can figure a way to write it off. Just saying. All right. So early bird pricing available. Recommend you get in. We're going to work out a way that we are going to share in this experience locally. So maybe we'll break into local networking groups. Of course, adhering to whatever regulations are in place and recommendations are in place, September 15th to 17th. Thank you, Bunny Henry. You're awesome. And I wasn't being sarcastic there. I sounded kind of sarcastic. Bunny Henry is kind of awesome. So she has her own shoe line now, too. So yeah, recommend. Great opportunity for you to network with people who are at your level of business and above and are doing the right things to drive their business forward. There's a lot of really, really great innovation happening right now in real estate. So back to KW Command. Bam. So Dotloop going away, right? We all know the story with Dotloop. If you don't already, they're owned by Zillow, and they have changed their privacy agreement to say, hey, we're going to openly share with our parent company because they want your data. Dotloop, we have been paying for privately. We're ending that agreement with Dotloop on early September. So we highly recommend that you log into DocuSign, create your account. You can do that through Command. It's nice and easy. It takes about, 5 minutes. And DocuSign is your new signing authority. And we've got a lot of our agents that are coming out of the woodwork going, yeah, I've been using DocuSign all along. So nice and easy to use. Great program. Initial feedback, people are actually liking it better as a signing authority than they like Dotloop. So, and potato, right? Some people like one, some people like the other. This is the one that we provide you for free. If you want to continue using Dotloop, you can pay for it privately. I recommend you opt out of their privacy sharing agreement, so that you're not sharing your data with your competition. All right, KW Command and DocuSign. That's how you're going to do your transactions. So through the month of August, everybody breathe, nobody freak out, because this is really, 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 really simple. We're giving out stickers for people who are producing deals through Command right now. It's kind of fun. Losing my voice. So, by the way, Starbucks putting little tips of the day, and I got a great sticker from Jeanette today too. So, fun fact: the national animal in Scotland is a unicorn. I didn't know that, and I'm part Scottish. Cool. All right, Command and DocuSign. So Command is where your opportunities lie. DocuSign is how you're going to fill out your documents, right? So your clients are going to see the DocuSign side. You're going to submit to us through Command. And Michaela's on in case I lie to you. They literally said that this morning. Michaela and Naomi said, so Ron's coming on, so make sure you listen in case he lies to people. Would this face lie? Really? Come on, trustworthy, right? Anyway, so to connect your DocuSign account, you're going to log into Command. agent.kw.com. You're going to go into your settings and you're going to connect your DocuSign account. Mine says discount because I already have one. If you don't have one, it's going to say connect account. You click that on, it's going to take you a DocuSign screen. You're going to sign into it. Yay! It's going to send you a confirmation email. You're going to confirm, and then you're going to have a DocuSign account. It is literally that easy. Cool. And we will be running courses on DocuSign. So, and again, repetition. I said this last week. We are going to lean heavily on Scott Leroy Marketing because they're way smarter than I am. And they've already produced the videos and the training information to get you up and running with Command and DocuSign. So you need to focus on contacts. I highly recommend you put your contacts in. I've said highly recommend 200 times already today, I'm pretty sure. So Bob's your uncle. That was last week. So contacts, load them up, practice loading contacts in Command, and play with opportunities and DocuSign. That's all you need to know. Also, I was going to say I highly recommend again, play with the other aspects because the marketing side of Command is freaking nuts. And from a lead generation standpoint, we're starting to see, and I'm not, let's go Canadian for a second. Because here's what we do. It's like, yeah, well, I'm sure that works great in Minnesota, but I'm in Port Coquitlam. I'm in Surrey. I'm in Spuzzum. Oh, we don't have an office in Spuzzum. Ontario. So I've got a handful of agents out there and a couple of team leaders that I talk to on a regular basis. And they're doing lead generation. Talk to Phil Legree, Van Central. Lead generation through Command, and the average cost per lead is around 80 cents. That's cheap. That's cheap entertainment to promote your listing. They're getting hundreds of leads from promoting a listing on Facebook, just through Facebook ad promotion. And it takes a couple of minutes to set it up for you. We can walk through that. We're actually going to walk through some of that next week when I teach a class on it. All right, boom, DocuSign, bam, bam. And then you're going to create opportunities. Play with this. You can't break it. Don't submit fake deals to the office because that'll be entertaining. But play with this sales pipeline. So think of opportunities as your sales pipeline. It breaks down into listing to buy side into leases. Not doing a heck of a lot of leases. But yeah, it's a really cool step-by-step drag and drop way to run your business. And as I've said before, I love it because it almost forces you to, we'll say almost forces. It kind of forces you to do business the way you should be doing in a sales pipeline, in a professional sales environment, right? So it manages your pipeline for you. You still have to do the work on it, though. All right, cool. All right, so there's a video. Thank you, John Oliver. Made the video. You know, the one on the KW site, the one that I could not embed in here because we like to lock stuff down. So excuse me while I get out of full screen. I go down here. I click on this button. Let's go to here. No, let's go to here. No, let's go to here. And then let's click on this one. And then we're going to play a video. Cool. Look at that working.
Hey there, Keller Williams. This is Bryson from KWU, and today we'll be learning how to create an opportunity. Opportunities is the system that we use to track our current and potential transactions within Command. Each opportunity starts at the cultivate phase, where you can track an opportunity before you have even set an appointment, and will be tracked all the way through to the close phase after being approved for compliance and commissions. The Opportunities applet allows you to track everything involved with the transaction, from activity checklists and offer management to potential commission income and compliance. So let's get started by logging into agent.kw.com with your Keller Williams login credentials. Once you're logged in, click the Opportunities icon on the left sidebar. Next, click Create Opportunity at the top right of the page. Now that we have the Create Opportunity form in front of us, let's go ahead and review some of the fields. If you're part of more than one market center, you'll make that selection from this dropdown. If this is a team opportunity, you can make that selection from this dropdown as well. Next, you will select the opportunity type from this dropdown. The options are listing, buyer, landlord, or tenant. From here, we will select the client this opportunity is for. You can just type out the name and select it from the results. And I also want to mention that every opportunity is required to be assigned to a contact that already exists in your Command database. After that, we will name the opportunity. And as you can see, the client's name as well as the opportunity type has already pre-populated the opportunity name, but you can add some more information if you'd like. If you want to make your opportunity easier to find, you can select a custom tag that you've created. To do so, just click the drop down and make your selection here. After that, you can set your estimated close date if you like, but it is not required. Next, you'll move on to the estimated listing price. Now, this information isn't required to be entered in, but it does drive the volume insights that you do see. Once that field is completed, you can move on to the commission rate. Now, although this field is required to be entered in upon creating the opportunity, you can definitely come back and change this information if you need to. After you have entered in your commission rate, you can move on to selecting your opportunity phase. Now, depending on how far along you are in the transaction, that will determine the phase that you're currently in. And to dig a little deeper, you will then select a stage within the phase that you're in. Now, after this form is completed and you've confirmed that this is the information you want entered in, click Create. And after your opportunity has been created, you can manage the opportunity as the transaction progresses. For more resources, click the question mark in the top right-hand corner of your screen, click Keller Williams University, and use the search. Thank you.
Bam. No, thank you. That took what, 3 minutes? It's a 3 minute video, so I'm going to assume it took 3 minutes. Right? 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 Yeah, cool. So once you're in opportunity, it's pretty easy to move back and forth. Now, the one point there, so say you don't want to use Command as your career, your customer lifecycle management program, your CRM, your relationship management program. No problem. So you're at me like, no, I love Top Producer, whatever it is. You don't have to have the entire your contact database in Command. So if you go into create an opportunity, you do need to have a name. So you go back into contacts, you enter Bob Smith, save, like literally just the name. I recommend maybe go all out and put his email address and his phone number just for see, I was gonna say shits and giggles, but I can't say that anyway. And just for the heck of it. And then you go back into the opportunity, and now that name is going to be in the drop down screen, right? So it takes, again, seconds. And you'd actually have to do that anyway, no matter what program you are using. So for those of you who say it's an extra step, no, it's not. All right, cool. And now these fine people, I'm done talking. I hope I'm done talking. I need to introduce you to Carol DeBoer. Carol, you there? Unmute Carol. Somebody unmute Carol.
I'm unmuting.
There you go. Look at that. Carol can unmute Carol. Cool. So welcome, Carol. Carol, you're going to give us you've got half an hour of prepared content. Just joking. Just joking. Just want to say hi. So Carol is going to be entering into the broker rotation. Sean Campbell is taking a step back. Carol brings a little bit of experience to the brokerage. And Carol, you can tell the story better than I can. So why don't I stop talking and let you share your Coles numbers.
Well, the last brokerage I was with for 9.5 years, managing broker for about 3, and just helping everybody else. Background in banking, financial planning, mortgages, all that kind of stuff. So basically, I've just been in this type of industry forever, it seems like. So, and a lot of educating and working with newbies and stuff like that, working with showing them how to write contracts and how to think and work their way around into real estate.
You teach people how to think? I need to talk to you. Yeah, I got a list. I got a list of people. They all have the same last name as me. That's awesome. So Carol's going to be helping us out in a couple ways. As I mentioned, she's going to be in the managing broker rotation, and she is going to be working with Chris and our productivity coaching team to onboard our new guys. So when a new agent joins, Carol will be the point of contact to. And I shouldn't say just new agents. If your deal count looks at like a 0 and you're a work in progress, or up to 2, Carol's going to work with you to help you get comfortable with your contracts and things like that. So look forward to her reaching out to you and the entire productivity coaching team reaching out to you soon. So we are very, 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 very excited. And she brings a wealth of knowledge, experience, and some really cool training tips and tricks too that we're dovetailing into the KW stuff we're already doing. So everybody say, yay, welcome, Carol. Unmute and clap. Do it. Or no, it's okay. All right, cool. Josh, you there? I'm going to stop sharing. We see faces.
Yes, I am here.
I see your face. There it is. The beard's coming back.
The beard's coming back. Nah, just today's.
Just today? That's just today's growth?
No, it's been a week.
So, just on a beard note, nothing to do with anything. So, Carnveer in the Surrey office today, Carnveer comes in, and he's normally got his beard. I don't know how he does it, but he's unbundled today. Dude's beard goes down to his waist.
No.
Yeah, I'm growing it out. It's gonna happen. Don't tell Terry. Yeah,
I think he rolls it underneath, actually.
I think so. Yeah, down to his waist. He's never shaved. That's kind of neat. If I never shaved, I'd have 3 hairs. They'd just be huge. All right,
It's Fu Manchu, baby. Fu Manchu.
what you got there, Mr. Bath?
So here's what I got. This is a great time to be plugged in with your board's main interface page with what they're doing around interviews with industry leads. Tomorrow, there's going to be an interview with myself. I'm conducting an interview of Tony G of Canadian Condominium Homeowners Association. It's titled Strata Insurance Update 2. It's a follow-up to the one we did a month ago through the board. There were close to 600 people on that meeting, that Zoom meeting. There will likely be somewhere in that neighborhood as well too. What this one is going to be about is there was an overflow of 89 questions we couldn't get to from last month's meeting. And so it's essentially going to be me asking Tony the juiciest and the most contentious questions that I can pick out for about an hour's worth of conversation tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. So that you can find on rebgv.ca for access. And beyond that, I would say there's something we talked about open houses briefly, and I want to talk about that again. There are agents in our office that are reaching out to me. They're doing open houses. They're finding that some are working really well. There's leads to be taken, but you have to be strategic prior to doing them, knowing full well how you're going to manage crowds. That's the unpredictability here when you go to conduct an open house thinking you might get 6 or 7 or so through and you end up with 40. And you guys, we have to be very careful to protect our real estate image, our company image, and your image. You have to be careful that someone from the public isn't snapping a photo and then putting it on social media to attract naysayers. And this could go bad for our industry as a whole, our company, and of course yourselves. I've heard it said by 2 agents now that have conducted open houses following, they sent me their protocols in advance, following their protocols, and they found it to be more or less a waste of time and energy. And it would have been better had they just had booked showings as opposed to people sitting outside and waiting, right? A booked showing, someone shows up at their time. You could have 10 or 15 cars with people sitting in their cars, but you can't control whether they sit in their cars. So we talked about this last time. I know we talked about this in our ALC meeting about conducting a impromptu Zoom discussion with the agents in our office around what would be our protocol around open houses, basically just vetting out our feelings around open houses in terms of do we do them or don't we do them. I'd still like to do that, and I'd like to keep it as impromptu as possible. I ideally would like to begin it tomorrow, either at around 11 o'clock or sometime in the afternoon after 3 o'clock. So I know it's short notice, but this isn't really meant to be a formal discussion. It's meant to be informal, and it's meant to be a mastermind brainstorming amongst us. So
that sounds awesome. And
yeah,
if we can coordinate that and record it, it'd be great.
It'll be recorded.
Bring up a point. So you learn everything from going out and talking to people, right? So dinner the other night, where there was this weird standoffish moment at the beginning because we're not regulars there. We've been there a couple of times, but we're not, it's White Rock. So you get people go there every night almost. So there was this weird little kind of vetting period with our server and the host. And it's because they didn't know if we were from WorkSafe BC or not. So that is literally, they're sending out people to test us. So in every industry, doesn't matter what you are. If you've got people coming into your business, if you're hosting an open house, there's a good chance that somebody in that line is going to be from WorkSafe BC. And their sole purpose is to make sure that you're adhering to guidelines.
To speak to that, because I mean, it is a valid point. When I interviewed the woman from Work Safe BC through the board, they're not really targeting real estate agents in open houses. Like and the main reason for it is manpower, or if that's the correct gender pronoun. But nonetheless, they just don't have the force to go and check out every realtor's open unpredictable than say a store hour for a typical company. Those are more predictable. So they're going in to take a look at them, but they're also wanting to work with agents if they did do such a thing or went to a company. They want to work with them. They're not looking to shut you down. It's not that kind of an approach. They really want to make sure that everyone understands what their safety protocol should be, and then it guides you through it. So we're in good hands. We really are. It's really up to us to determine how we're going to write the narrative for our image. If you're going to do an open house, we're not saying don't do them, and we've been given the green light. We want to make sure that you look good in doing them, that you have a properly posted protocol for how you're going to conduct it, amongst other things. I won't go into them here. So that said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and call it for tomorrow. I'm going to say let's do this tomorrow. Carla, if you're listening, I'll send you a link, but we'll do it tomorrow at 11 a.m. because that works really well for me. And I'd rather just get the meeting conducted early. And if there's any way for me to revise my personal protocol around open houses, then I can share it on our KW Cafe Facebook page as a file, or Carla can share it as a file, and I can share it in the insiders group for Surrey as a file in the WhatsApp group chat. So just get it out there.
Are you planning on talking about you just mentioned it, the having people, say you set up 15-minute increments for people to view the property, and they sit in their car and wait till their time slot. If you've ever gone to a winery in the Okanagan where they book appointments, that's how they do it. You're not allowed in until your time slot, right? So yeah, that'd be a great solution in my humble opinion.
I think it's a great solution, period. I think Ron, personally, I think we're a proactive company. We're known for leading edge and being on the forefront of protocols. For example, I know most offices are not actually having this discussion from leadership to amongst the agents, or even creating masterminds. They're just kind of haphazardly in the bullpen conversations. We're looking to take this to that level of real professionalism. So perhaps someone doesn't make it tomorrow at 11 or isn't even on this meeting right now, but they then know by us communicating that we have a protocol as a company that you can tap into and use to give you a sense of confidence when you're doing your open house. Now, of course, the bigger issue is you see the protocol and then you're going to decide, is it worth doing the open house, right? You may choose not to do it, but you may choose to instead say, I've got a time frame and here are the slots available. If it's taken, it's taken.
Right.
That conversation will get flushed out. I have no opinion on that. That's entirely up to the agents. I do know that one of our agents, Gary Bendesha over in Surrey, he's got a few properties that he's would like open houses done, and he has someone go and put signs up for you on your behalf and takes them down at the end of the open house, in the beginning and at the end. So he really makes the open house experience super easy for the agent. Something to consider if you want to do an open in Surrey. Anyways, that's about it, really. For the most part, there are changes coming to the managing brokers world. Michael and I we chatted about this once before. The changes that we had contemplated that were proposed to the superintendent of real estate, some of them sounded pretty scary, but when I actually heard Mike, forget his name now, the superintendent of real estate, actually was on a webinar. He said, look, we're not actually implementing any of these things. We're investigating them. We really, some of them are so far-fetched, they're crazy. And those were the ones that I latched onto, of course. And like every individual agent has to have a managing broker's designation. So that was one of the suggestions being brought. That never came from superintendent. It never came from council. It was just simply a exterior, independent review, consultation on our industry and what should it look like. They're not saying we're going to take that on. That sounds ridiculous. And he quite frankly said that's not realistic. So there's some interesting changes coming down from industry towards us. And as we move towards 2021, I guess this doesn't really matter to us right now because we don't know what it's going to look like. But just know that right now we have basically three heads. We have the Real Estate Association, BCREA. We have the Real Estate Council, and then we have the Superintendent's Office of Real Estate. So different departments that oversee how real estate works. That's going to change in 2021, and it's going to the BCFSA, BC Financial Services Authority. We are moving towards another major change in our industry. And quite honestly, from what I'm hearing, the council and the superintendent's discussions around it, this is quite literally going to be one of the most significantly positive impacts on our industry, and we all get to witness it and be a part of it. So that's exciting news.
Awesome.
That's all I have.
Oh, and Michael's here too.
Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, how are you? How's the toe?
It's sore.
Still sore, eh?
Yeah.
Every day's probably a little bit better.
It's true. I am walking without crutches, so yes.
There you go. So that's.
I just want to throw in an aw. That was nice.
I don't envy you. My son dropped something at work on his toe back in February, and he's still limping today. So it takes a while. Yeah, so we were talking earlier, mentioned Michael Noseworthy. I think you were trying to come up with the superintendent's name. And the fear, I guess the fear that they were going to clamp down on the industry and limit the number of managing brokers per agent. And those are all discussions we had previously. And there had been documentation out to that effect. I think we saw that in the IAG report, right? Going back.
Yes, we did.
That's where we first saw message or thought of that. But I think going forward with the amalgamation coming up, I think there's going to be less fear because they're going to be pouring us into a huge organization, right? Which is a benefit to the industry, right? The big issue around that the big concern at the moment, and again, of course, the concerns in the beginning and early on stages are probably never come to fruition, but is that we get lost in the shuffle of this big government conglomerate that's overlooking us, and we lose our voice as an industry. That's potentially possible, going forward. So, I guess we just have to wait how it transpires going forward right now, and kind of keep moving forward as we're doing right now. Yeah. I'll say that the level of communication right now, two-way communication right now, is urging to know that we're not going to get lost, that we are going to have a voice. There's going to be a ton of independent industry consultation with government to set our policies and our procedures so that we're cleaning house, so to speak. Because currently right now it's a bit of a mess. And it'll look that way potentially come 2021. I don't know what month it's set for in 2021. I don't know if it's a January 1st deadline. That hasn't actually surfaced as a topic yet. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. So.
Okay.
So going forward, a couple of little things I've come across today. In the Fraser Valley board, they finally realized that they don't need to issue new membership cards every year. So they're going to get greener, and they're only going to be introducing new membership cards to new members, or if you change brokerages, or what was the third one? New members, change of brokerage, or if you lose your card. It didn't make sense every year that they were making all these cards and shipping them out to all the brokerages at a huge expense. So there's a small change that's been happening. On the tenancy front, there was a sort of a change made after Wednesday's meeting last week. Starting September 1st, all residential rents will be due and payable in full. They've set up a repayment plan in regards to when the back rent that's owed by some of the tenants has to be paid, and it's going to be by July of 2021. And that'll be set up through equal payments so that these tenants that are in arrears can get caught up. Another thing they've nailed down now is no rent increases can take effect until December 1st, 2020. So rent increases, you could serve, a landlord could serve notice today, but those rent increases don't come into effect until December 1st. And landlords still have the ability to restrict access to common spaces, which is a good thing. I'm seeing that in some of the strata corporations right now, where their ability to, either open up some of those common areas and gyms and things, and if they need to shut them down again, they can do that as well, right? Going forward, a couple other little thoughts. just questions throughout the week. Someone was asking about, can they reduce the price of a listing after they have an accepted offer? Of course they can. A listing and an offer are two different animals. You know, you've got a listing. Obviously, if you're going to reduce the listing below the price of the accepted offer, you're going to piss the buyer off. But other than, right? But other than that, I mean, you know, they're two different animals. A listing is one thing. It's just an invitation to treat, to put out there, to be able to get someone to put something in writing, and your actual offer is something completely different and completely separate. Another one this morning is in relation to teams that I had. The only way a team can work with a buyer is if they're unrepresented. So you can't have one of the team members step out from the listing and then fully represent the buyer. You know, the team, when you think of representation in real estate, think of the team as an entire entity, right? They're one animal, right? So you can't have one of the team members break off and give full representation to the buyer while the rest of the team represents the seller. So the only chance, like I said, go ahead.
In which case, Michael, you have to just consider the word vicarious liability. The whole team is vicariously liable for the action of one member. So there's no way to circumvent this double ending or dual agency.
No, because the team as a whole has an agency with the seller, and that never can happen unless the entire team recluses himself from the listing. And I wouldn't think they'd want to do that to work with one buyer. Right?
Yeah, no. You know, you still see double ending out there. Like it's a matter of time before someone gets stung on it because it's taken place, and you have to be careful. That's all.
Yeah, you have to remember, like I've said it before, that when the government did away with what was I trying to think of here? You know, us representing both sides, dual agency. Their thought wasn't that they were going to have the mass majority of the buyers running around unrepresented. And I don't think that benefits the industry by having a whole bunch of people running around thinking that they can represent themselves.
Right.
I think the strength of the industry is, and the strength of us as realtors is to be able to prove our worth to our buyers and our sellers and represent our clients. And so those of you that end up in situations where they have a seller and they do have someone come to them, I mean, really the government's main crux is refer, right? They want those people to be represented. They don't want those people running around unrepresented.
Michael, just question I might not know the answer. If I'm a team and I've got a buyer that adamantly wants to buy my listing, and I refer it out to another agent team or a single agent in the office, can I take a referral fee on that?
Absolutely.
There you go. Just check.
Good question. Okay. Anyway, that's it for me today.
Thanks, Mike.
Cool. All right. Carol, you got anything to add in just for fun? That's it. Okay.
Okay.
No, I was just trying to unmute there. My mouse kept flipping. No, I'm good. And thanks for having me part of Keller Williams. I'm looking forward to being there and learning all your little lingo and stuff like that. So
Or lingo. There's a dictionary. We'll send you a copy.
I'm looking. I'm going like, what?
All right, we're excited to have you here too. All right, folks. Any other questions in the chat there, Mr. Bath? Are we free to run away? All right, go forth, make good decisions, tip your servers, stock up on masks, and have a great day.